Hey developers, welcome to Devcovery. Today, we're bringing you the hottest open source projects trending on GitHub, so you don't miss any tech developments worth your attention.
Today, we're taking a deep dive into a trending project on GitHub. Firecrawl, an all-in-one API to search, scrape, and interact with the web at scale. It's exploding in popularity because it turns the messy, unreliable process of web scraping into a clean, developer-friendly API call. We'll explore how it can crawl an entire site or extract structured data from a URL, saving you from the headache of managing headless browsers. Imagine if your AI could access the entire web with just a single API call. That's the promise of Firecrawl. It's not just another web scraper, it's more like a data refinery built specifically for large language models. And its rapid growth suggests it's solving a huge, unspoken problem for developers everywhere. So, what is Firecrawl exactly? It's an open-source API platform that lets you search, scrape, and even interact with the web at a massive scale. It's developed by the organization Firecrawl, and it has absolutely exploded in popularity. We're talking over 14,000 stars on GitHub, with more than 800 of those added in just the last day. The goal here is to take any website and turn it into clean, structured data that AI applications can immediately understand and use. It effectively builds a bridge between the chaos of the web and the logic of intelligent systems. For years, developers building AI applications have hit the same frustrating wall: getting usable data from the web. Traditional web scraping tools are notoriously unreliable. They often break when they encounter modern websites built with a lot of JavaScript. And even when they work, the result is raw, messy HTML. This chaotic code needs a ton of cleaning and pre-processing before a large language model can make any sense of it. That whole process eats up precious development time and computing power. Firecrawl's unique approach is to handle this entire workflow as a single, managed service. It doesn't just hand you raw content, it delivers what it calls LLM-ready data, already formatted as clean Markdown or structured JSON. This eliminates a huge headache for developers right from the start. So, how does it work under the hood? Firecrawl uses a smart design called a polyglot microservices architecture. That's a fancy way of saying it uses different programming languages for different jobs, like a specialized assembly line. The front door is an API gateway built with TypeScript and Node.js. This part is great at handling thousands of simultaneous network requests. But when a request needs some serious muscle, like parsing a complicated web page, the gateway hands the job off to a high-performance module written in Rust. Rust brings incredible speed and memory safety to the table, making sure data is processed both quickly and reliably. And for those tricky modern websites that rely on JavaScript to load their content, Firecrawl uses a tool called Playwright, which actually controls a real browser engine. It renders the page exactly as a person would see it. This dual approach, using a fast Rust parser for simple sites and a full browser for complex ones, is the secret sauce behind its claim of covering 96% of the web. Who's actually using this? The main audience is AI and large language model developers. They use Firecrawl to feed real-time web data into their AI systems. This is often for a technique called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. It helps AI models answer questions using the most up-to-date information from the internet, not just their training data. Data scientists are also using its crawl feature to gather huge datasets for things like market research. And automation engineers can use the Interact API to build out complex workflows like automatically tracking a competitor's pricing. Best of all, getting started is designed to be easy. All it takes is a simple API key. Plus, there are official toolkits available for Python, Node, JS, and Java, making it simple to plug these powerful web capabilities into almost any application. Looking at the community feedback, the response is overwhelmingly positive. Developers love the intuitive API, and especially the LLM-ready output, which they say saves a ton of time on data cleaning. But there are some cautious notes as well. Some users have pointed out a lack of verified reviews from large enterprise customers. There's also a community-made version, or fork, that's focused on making it easier to self-host. This suggests that running the official version on your own servers might be complex or require a lot of resources. It points to a classic trade-off between power and simplicity. But it's not all smooth sailing. Despite its power, Firecrawl does face some real challenges. First, its core is licensed under AGPL 3.0. This is a very strict open-source license. It essentially requires that any commercial product built on top of it must also be open source. This could definitely slow down its adoption inside big companies with closed-source products. Second, that sophisticated multi-language architecture, while fast, also makes the system more complex to maintain. And finally, its search feature probably relies on third-party search APIs. This creates an external dependency. It also introduces potential costs that could impact the service's stability and pricing down the road, which is a major consideration for any team using it in a live product. In the end, Firecrawl is much more than just a web scraper. It represents a critical piece of infrastructure for the new era of AI. By taking on the messy, complicated work of data extraction and formatting, it's positioning itself as the essential data pipeline for building intelligent, web-aware applications. And that is precisely why it's a project worth watching.
That's all for today's Devcovery. We hope these GitHub trending projects spark some inspiration for your development work. You can find all the repos mentioned in the description below. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you tomorrow at the same time.